What is going on, everyone? Casey here, Virginia Gameday, checking in after a monster weekend for Virginia sports. There was so much going on. We had the big win over Miami, obviously, getting that much needed win to keep us on the bubble. We had the Virginia baseball team start up and absolutely run through the competition down at Gardner Webb. That was a tournament. Went 3-0. And then the Virginia women's basketball team hitting a little bit of a run here. I'm so happy for them. They play hard every night, and they deserve to have the wins come out in the win column. They beat Duke earlier in the week and then had a win against Pittsburgh this weekend. So 30 points from Taylor Valladay. Happy to see it. So, so it's Sunday. Just got back from Boar's Head. Sunday they have the prime rib special at Boar's Head. If you haven't ever had it, get over there. $35, fantastic, can't beat it. Such a good vibe, and we were able to bring our dog over there earlier in the day. She had a 2-week board and train with off-leash canine. If you have a dog that needs training, I so highly suggest taking them to this company. The trainer's name was Virginia, so that's like meant to be, and it completely changed our dog's life and our life as a result. So we got a lot to get to today, right? So first we'll start with the big win over Miami. It's funny because it was the Miami that was the kind of the jumping off point to start our second half hot streak, and now it came back around after a loss that we needed to restart our hot streak. So Virginia went down to Miami, won 74-71. They overcame so many things to secure the win. First, Miami came out prepared. They got beaten at our place. They tried to speed us up early on in the game, and it happened. They were getting in passing lanes, making steals, making us look like we had just gotten off the plane. So they were up 12-4 early on, and Virginia was able to weather the storm, kind of settle down. They also had a big scoring drought. We've seen that so many times this year where we have a scoring drought, shoot ourselves in the foot, can't recover. It's like, what's going on? Remember JMU game? Like, we're not even in the same ballpark as JMU, but we couldn't get a bucket for 10 minutes and we ended up losing. So we had that scoring drought, and we were able to really get on our own run and overcome it. We also had to hit the magic turnover number that we don't like to hit, right? If we get double-digit turnovers, a lot of times we end up having an L. We had 11 turnovers in the game, but we got a big win. We also overcame our two best players, Kihei and Jaden, having, Kihei looked like a different guy against Tech. He had 10,000 people rooting against him. It was like it was a real bummer of a game for him. And then Jaden had a rough second half against Tech, and they were able to bounce back and combine for 40 points. So there was so much resiliency that our team showed. And to just lose such a big rivalry game like that, to bounce back, make the trip all the way down to Miami, and come out in the second half and make plays, is just shows what this team is made of. Great to see Kyle Guy and Trey Murphy in the crowd. They did a little halftime show for the UVA Instagram account, so that was cool. And then after the game, to see Tony talk about Kyle and his new baby and his wife was really cool. You can see this genuine love. When they say family, they mean it. And we got to watch the Tony Miami press conference, because it's kind of tells a lot about Kyle and Tony's relationship. It was really cool to see, having enough built up equity with each other where you can just look at each other and kind of know what you're thinking. And then also sticking with the family notion, Armand Franklin's mom reposted the little thing that Trey and Kyle did on Twitter. She reposted that, said that they were two of her favorite Wahoos, and it's just like, everyone cares about each other. There's connections, and it really is family. And you see these, former players talk about it. When they say family, they mean it. So it was a huge huge win for Virginia. It didn't shoot them up the rankings a million spots or anything, but we needed it. After losing to Tech, that was kind of like a stay on the bubble game for both teams. The winner stays on the bubble. The loser is like, teetering. But we lost. It wasn't a terrible loss, but we had to win at Miami. If we lost against Miami, it was like, man, we really really would have been behind the eight ball. And if you go to ESPN's Bubble Watch, they literally put a disclaimer in Virginia's section. Let me grab it. Okay. Bubble Watch wishes to be clear. Virginia really needed that win at Miami. A blind review of competing bubble profiles, if done before the victory over the Hurricanes, would have suggested the Cavaliers were a very long way from the field of 68. Now they're a bit closer, and the upcoming home date against Duke offers another means of ascent on the bubble. I think everyone's going to get in that they had. It's not everyone that's in the ACC on the bubble or trying or a little bit ahead of the bubble, I think is going to get in. Virginia's probably the furthest away, but I do think that I believe in the Who's, and I think that they're going to make it happen. Just according to what they have to keep you guys abreast, Duke is in as a lock. Wake Forest is in the should be in category. Notre Dame is in the should be in category as well. Miami, North Carolina, Tech, and Virginia are in the work to do pile. But it's just crazy when you look at our conference, right? Like Notre Dame, they're basically ran through their conference this year. Boston College takes them to double overtime. You look at Miami, they beat Duke, they beat Wake Forest, but then they lose to Florida State twice. And you look at North Carolina, who basically made Virginia look like a JV club, and they're coming off losses to Pittsburgh, Duke, Miami. So against those three teams right there, Virginia's 5-0. It's ACC basketball, man. Anyone can beat anyone, and they haven't gotten a lot of love from the national people this year, but the ACC is always good, and I think that when the selections come out, everyone that's up for it will get in. We'll go over some more resume stuff towards the end of the podcast, and usually on Monday, Tuesday, more Bubble Watch type articles will come out. But just know that per team rankings, they have a 17.8% chance to make the tournament. So I like those odds, man. 1-5 with Kihei Clark on the show. I'm down. So Kihei, like I mentioned, bounced back from a tough game against Tech and had 17 points. Had 17 points on 5 of 13 shooting, 3 of 8 from three-point land. Played all but 1 minute in the game, dished out 5 assists, and he had the big shot that kind of cut the scoring drought at its knees, right? Virginia wasn't scoring at the end of the first half, and in the first minute of the second half, same thing. But it was his 3-ball that started things back going in the right direction. Team needed a spark, and he gave it to him, and that's what veterans are supposed to do. And he is the newest member of the 1,000-point club because of it. That's a big deal. Make sure to, if you see him around, let him know that it's a real big feat for Virginia basketball. He becomes the 50th member, if I'm not mistaken. Ty Jerome was the last person to get in the 1,000-point club. Put it in perspective, Ty Jerome only had 1,011 points. So Kihei will definitely pass him. And guys like Jay Huff didn't get 1,000 points. Mamadi didn't, although if the pandemic never happened, he would have, because he finished with 997. So that's a bummer. I didn't think about that until researching it before this podcast. But that's someone should give Mamadi 3 points, man. That's a real bummer. I don't think he's going to reach Brian Stith up in the 2,500 range, but it's a real big accomplishment. And it shows that you can stay at a place for a long time. It shows that you get minutes for a long time. And it shows that you're a contributor for multiple years when you score 1,000 points. Just like scoring 1,000 points in high school, man. That's such a big deal. Your name goes down in the record books forever. So he bounced back from that rough game, had a huge game, hit big shots when we needed it, per usual. That Tech performance was really just like kind of out of nowhere when you look at his season this year. Who else? Jaden Gardner, the other guy who kind of had a rough game in the second half against Tech. 23 points, 7 boards, 3 blocks, 9 of 14, super efficient. He had, when I was watching him, it looked like, I always say playing free and easy, but he had a great feel for the game. You think back to making that making that pass out to Cody Statman when they're still down 5, and then Statman's 3 put him down 2. He made some clutch shots in that fadeaway with like a minute and a half left. Huge play. He had a big block down the stretch. It was that he blocked Jordan Miller, which I made a note of it. That was a really fun matchup to watch, right? Jordan Miller played at George Mason 3 years, and then transferred down to Miami, where there's still that Mason-Miami connection because Larinaga was the coach who brought Mason to the Final Four back in 2006. So Jordan Miller, who's local from Loudoun County, goes down to Miami. Long, lefty, kind of the opposite of Jaden Gardner, right? Kind of more finesse, more swooping and outside. Jaden, more tough, rugged, bang, bang, bang. They both had good games. Jordan Miller was 7 for 11, 15 points, 6 rebounds. But it was a fun matchup to watch. Like two contrasting styles. It's like when the Mets and the Royals went up against each other in the 2015 World Series. The Mets were, starting pitching, power bats. The Royals were speed and defense. It was fun. It was fun to watch, and they both had good games. But Jaden got the best of them. Continuing down the list, Reese Beekman. Numbers not super gaudy here, but he played 38 minutes. Jaden played 37 minutes, by the way. But Reese played 38 minutes. 2 of 5 overall, 6 points, 7 dimes, and 4 boards. But again, you look down the stretch. Reese hit that shot at the end of the shot clock. Huge. A lot of those shots that Jaden was making were dimes off Reese's hand. It's hard to believe he didn't have any steals in this game. Virginia only got credited for 1 steal. But yeah, Reese just making winning plays down the stretch. Armand only played 16 minutes. That's a big storyline from the game. It was his only game this year with less than 20 minutes, a season low, 16. Coach mentioned after the game he had a little bit of a turf toe thing going on, and Cody got Armand's minutes basically. Armand finished with 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 1 of 3 from deep. Didn't have any rebounds or assists, but early on in the game, I mean, he made some shots in the first half that got Virginia out of that initial hole of Miami's fast start. He's only scored 6.3 points per game in his last 3. He had a stretch there where he was hitting double figures for a bunch in a row, but the last 3 games, he's only had 5 against Georgia Tech, 9 against Virginia Tech, and then 5 here against Miami. I don't think it's indicative of anything from the macro level, but it was just kind of, how coach gets when somebody he rides the hot hand, and Cody was playing good ball and he kept with Cody. Poppy, same thing. Poppy was active early on, but Kaden was the hot hand here. So Poppy only played 10 minutes. He had 2 points, 3 boards. It was really like Kihei, Reese, Jaden, Kaden, and Cody was the main lineup. Armand and Poppy started, but the big minutes went to the bench. And it was the biggest bench performance since ACC play started. I know they had 21 earlier in the season against Coppin State, and they had 21 here. Kaden, super active on defense. Coach mentioned after the game it was his Caden's mobility. He was able to, on the screens, he was able to get the guards out. They have good guards, right? Wong, Charlie Moore. He was able to bounce them further out and not let them attack right away. He also let them play with 4 fouls because he liked the way he was playing so much. Finished with 13 points on 3 of 5 shooting. Many of his points came from the free throw line. He finished 7 of 9 from the free throw line, including a couple big ones down the stretch where it was still at a point where if he missed these free throws, maybe Miami does something crazy, and they're up 4. Virginia's only up 4, and Kaden hit a big set of free throws there with 20 seconds left. So he was ready to play. Had 13 boards, 2 assists. It might be a career high for him. Yeah, that's a career high. 13 boards is a career high. 2 dimes, 1 block, a steal. Really good game from Kaden. And then Cody, I mean, just solid. He didn't play a lot in the first Miami game, and I didn't think he matched up well, but this game, he proved me wrong. He was matched up really well, kind of like Kaden. He was able to guard multiple positions. He had 8 points, which is his most since the loss to NC State. Hit a big 3 to bring UVA within 2. Had a nice drive later on to extend their lead. Had 4 boards. Played confident basketball, 27 minutes. It looked like he belonged. Cody gets a lot of shit that he doesn't look like an ACC player, and I admit that sometimes he doesn't, but he looked like an ACC player here. Carson got in the game, and they went right after him and got an and one. He had 3 minutes. Malachi played another solid spell of time there. Grabbed the rebound. Team stats: we won the assist battle 17-13. We won the rebounds battle 36-33. We had more turnovers than them. We had less steals than them, but we got the dub, and that's what really counts in terms of the bracketology and resume. 76 in KenPom, 59 in BPI, 59 in Sagarin, 64 in KPI, 67 in our T rank, and our SOR is 61. Not a whole lot of change. We're right there. 3 and 5 in quad 1, 4 and 2 in quad 2, 3 and 3 in quad 3, 7 and 0 in quadrant 4. I know it's a lot to ask to beat them twice, but if we do beat Duke twice, I think there's no way that they can not put us in. It should count how you finish the season. Like, this team certainly is not the same team that lost to JMU. This isn't the same team that lost to Navy. And you look at a team like Rutgers, who was losing to UMass and Lafayette early on, and now they're beating ranked teams every night. That should come into consideration. This isn't the same team. Virginia's, I don't know if they're going to look at all the nuance, but so many guys playing together for the first time, and they're coming together now. I mean, they beat Providence earlier in the season too. Providence is a team that is 22-3. They've only lost 3 games all year. One to Villanova, one to Marquette. Those are top 35 teams, and then one to Virginia. And Virginia didn't just beat them; they mollywopped them by 20. So we'll see. We got Duke coming up here Wednesday, the 23rd. Make sure you get there. It's at home. It's going to be a hot ticket around Charlottesville. I hope to see y'all there. Pack the place out. I know it's going to be sold out joint. Duke is currently number 9 in KenPom, and KenPom currently has Duke winning by 6. The last time that we welcomed Duke into town was right before the pandemic. Me and my wife were there, my girlfriend at the time. We weren't even living in Charlottesville then. We came down from Northern Virginia, and it was such a fun time, man. It was such a fun time. That was the infamous 10-block Jay Huff game. Let's look back at that box score. 15 from Jay Huff, 14 from Braxton Key, 14 from Momedy. That was a fun team. Cody Statman, 24 minutes. Kihei Clark, 39 minutes. Poppy, 6 minutes. All right. Just looking at that makes me amped for this Duke game coming up. And then after we beat Duke, we got Florida State at home, which will be the last home game of the year. Louisville on the road at the Yum Center. We got, what happened at the Yum Center. That'll be the last regular season game, and then it'll be on to the ACC tournament, which is in Brooklyn this year. Try and get up there, and then off to Selection Sunday. So that's the basketball news. UVA baseball team completed the sweep of the weekend. As you see, I got my UVA baseball hat on here, paying homage to my boys. They won. They shut out Bellarmine in their opener, 1-0. Great outing from Brandon Neek, long lefty, I wouldn't want to face them. And then beat Gardner Webb 7-0, and then beat NJIT today 8-3. They didn't play any powerhouses or anything, but they took care of business like a team of Virginia's caliber should. Jay Geloff, he was a vital part of last year's College World Series team. He had some big hits over the weekend. His brother is one of the top prospects in the Oakland A's organization right now. You know him as Zach Geloff, the fixture at the hot corner for UVA. Yeah, so his brother Jake hit a big home run against NJIT, and also in the 1-0 win against Bellarmine, he had the RBI double. So big hit, Jake. Casey Salk, a newbie, had a big game against Gardner Webb. He's 4 for 7, went 4 for 7 over the weekend with a home run and 3 RBIs. Colin Tuft, 3 for 7. Devin Ortiz, 3 of 9. Max Codier, 2 of 10. Kyle Teal, 2 of 11. Tap, 1 for 11. Chris Newell, 3 of 8. The team overall, 23 of 96, hit 240 over the weekend. The team ERA, that's the real impressive number here. The team ERA of 1. Brandon Neek started the opening day game. Nate Savino started the second game. He went 3 and a third, 2 hits. And then Brian Gursky, a transfer, he picked up the win in the third game. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. They got Matt Wyatt closing the door down on games, taking Big Donkey's role. Jay Woolfolk, you might remember from UVA football fame, started against Notre Dame. He pitched an inning. So it's a really fun team. Make sure that they're coming home soon to the Dish. Get out there. It's a great place to watch a ball game. Tuesday against VMI, it'll be their home opener. And then they'll have a weekend series against Cornell. Maybe we'll try and get out to the Sunday game, Sunday the 27th. We'll see what the weather's looking like. You can't predict it around here anymore. It's like 61 day and then snowing the next. All right, so Virginia Game Day on Instagram, virginiagameday.com, Psyche Brown Media on YouTube. Thanks for checking us out. Go Hoos.